जीवन राम राम रामचंद्र मां पाहि यमुना तीर विहारी वृंदावन संचारी गोवर्धन गिरिधारी गोपाल कृष्ण मां पाहि यमुना तीर विहारी वृंदावन संचारी गोवर्धन गिरिधारी गोपाल कृष्ण मां पाहि अयोध्यावासी राम राम दशरथ नंदन राम राम जानकी जीवन राम राम रामचंद्र मां पाहि अयोध्यावासी राम राम दशरथ नंदन राम राम जानकी जीवन राम राम रामचंद्र मां पाहि रामचंद्र मां पाहि रामचंद्र मां पाहि रामचंद्र मां पाहि. The next song that I will be singing is Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajan. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajan Harana Bhava Bhayadarunam Shri Ramachandra कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणं नवकंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणं श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणं Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Kandarp Agnita Amita Chabi Navanila Neeraj Sundaram Pathapitha Manav Tadit Ruchi Suchi Naumi Janaka Sutavaram Shri Ramachandra कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणं श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणं नवकंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणं श्री राम श्री राम. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Akshay, you are muted, Akshay.
I'm so sorry about that, everyone. Thank you, Jia, for that beautiful bhajan. Really put us in the spirit for today's program. Next, let's welcome Anand Prabhu, who will be singing Mana Mandir. You have till 5:55 p.m. on Prabhu.
Anand Prabhu, we are not able to hear you.
We are not able to hear you.
Hello.
Hare Krishna, Anand Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Mama mana mandire rahu nishidhin Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari. Mama mana mandire raho nishidin. Krishna Murari, Sri Krishna Murari. Bhakti Priti Mala Chandan, Bhakti Priti Mala Chandan, Tume niyo hai niyo Chitanandan, Tume niyo hai niyo Chitanandan. जीवन मरण तव पूज निवेदन, जीवन मरण तव पूज निवेदन, सुंदर है मनोहारी, सुंदर है मनोहारी. कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. मम मन मंदिरे रहो निशीदीन. कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. यशो नंद कुमार, नंद कुमार, यशो नंद कुमार, नंद कुमार. हवे प्रेम प्रदीपे आरती तोमार, हवे प्रेम प्रदीपे आरती तोमार. नयन जमुना झरे हनिभाय, नयन जमुना झरे हनिभाय. तुम्हारा विरहे गिरधारी, तुम्हारा विरहे गिरधारी. श्री कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. मम मन मंदिरे रहो निशीदीन. कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. बंधन गाने तवा भजू जीवा. कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. मम मन मंदिरे रहो निशीदीन. कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. मम मन मंदिरे रहो निशीदीन. कृष्ण मुरारी, श्री कृष्ण मुरारी. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे. Thank you.
Anand Prabhu, you have some more time. You can continue. If you can.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
I would like to sing another bhajan. This is Emona Durmati by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. এমনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পদিয়াছিনো আমি, এমনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পদিয়াছিনো আমি. তব নিজ জানা কোন মায় জানে पतिताई अधिले তুমি এমন দুর্মতি সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি দয়া করে মোরে পতিতা দেখিয়া কহিল আমারে গিয়া ওহে দিনা যান শুন ভালো কথা উলসিত হবে হিয়া মোনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি তোমারে তারিতে শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য নবদ্বীপে अवतार তোমারে তারিতে শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য নবদ্বীপ अवतार তোমাহে ন কত দিনহীন জানে করিলে না ভব পার এমন দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি বেদের প্রতিজ্ঞা রাখি ভারতারে রুক্মবর্ণ বিপ্রসূতা বেদের প্রতিজ্ঞা রাখিয়া ভারে রুক্মবর্ণ বিপ্রসূতা महाप्रभु नामे नदिया माताया महाप्रभु नामे नदिया माताया संगे भाई अवधूता हे मानो दुर्मति संसार ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি तव निज जाना कोन महाजाने पथिता दिले তুমি হে মোনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি নন্দ সুত যিনি চৈতন্য গোসাই जिन नाम कोरिदान नरसुत जिनी चैतन्य गोसाई निज नाम कोरिदान तरिलो जगत तुमिओ जाइया तरिलो जगत तुमिओ जाइया लोभ हो निज परित्राण मोना दुर्मते সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি হে মোনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি তব নিজ জানা কোন মহাজানে পতিথাইয়া দিলে তুমি মোনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি শেখত শুনিয়া আসিয়াছি নাথা তোমার চরণ তালে ভক্তি বিনোদ কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া अपना कहिनी बोले मोना दुर्मते संसार ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি तव निज जाना कोन महाजाने पताइया दिले তুমি মোনা দুর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছিনু আমি Hare Krishna. Thank you for the service.
Wow, that was wonderful, Anand Prabhu. A very heart-touching performance for us all. Now I will hand it over to Satyasara Prabhu to introduce our special speaker for today.
Thank you, Akshaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Shamsundar Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Gurudev. So, Prabhuji, can I just introduce you for the congregation?
Sure.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
As you wish.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you all for joining. And so we have a very, very special guest with us this evening, very auspicious evening, Govardhan Puja. It's my absolute honor and privilege to introduce His Grace Shamsundar Prabhu, the most beloved and respected spiritual leaders of ISKCON Houston. On behalf of Hare Krishna Temple of Austin Prabhu, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to you for giving us your holy association on this day. So here is a brief introduction for everyone. Shamsundar Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Prabhuji has been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 40 years. And he's served as the temple president of ISKCON Houston from 1992 till 2020. And there are many noteworthy accomplishments that Prabhu has made for the pleasure of the Lordship Shri Radha Nila Madhava, Srila Prabhupada, and his spiritual master, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I just wanted to just list down a few of them. So under his spiritual leadership and expertise, ISKCON Houston grew leaps and bounds. It's more than 1,000 families are part of ISKCON Houston congregation, and that is because of Prabhu's leadership. And during his when he was presidentship, and a new magnificent temple was built in Houston for the pleasure of their lordships and the presiding deities, Shri Radha Nila Madhava. Also, under Prabhu's leadership, ISKCON Houston established Goswami Academy, which offers preschool and regular classes for kids through 8th grade, and it's expanding very rapidly. Also, Prabhu opened Govinda's restaurant in Houston. It's very famous restaurant in Houston now. So there are many, but here are the few projects that I would like to call out. Prabhu also conducts Japa conference calls every day morning at 3:30 in the morning. And he is an inspiration and an example to the entire congregation on strict sadhana, actually. He is also an inspirational speaker of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhu travels and he gives classes in many temples across North America. So with that, it's just a brief bio of Shamsundar Prabhuji. So we are very fortunate and blessed to have Prabhu with us today. Let's all welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shamsundar Prabhuji.
Satya Sir Prabhu, thank you very much. I don't deserve any glorification, anything. I'm simply a servant of servant, but you are so kind. Also, it's my great fortune to have all the association of wonderful devotees from Austin Yatra. I think I feel most fortunate than all of you to have your kind association. Satya Sir Prabhu, I know him for long, and the history goes that I was also the instrument to find Jai Subhadra Mataji and Satya Sir Prabhu as a nice husband and wife, some part of that arrangement. So I feel good that they are living very happy in Krishna consciousness. So before we start, I would like to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to speak something and glorify. And maybe this is our new year is beginning. And our Acharya says that really how we can say that we listen something is whatever you listen, something will attract you within your heart. Something will touch your heart. So after you hear, the real hearing means you should dwell after you hear that and dwell on it, how you can apply even smallest things, what you hear in your practical life. And then beg the mercy of the superior Vaishnavas and the divine couple Radha and Krishna, our Guru Maharaj and Vaishnavas, to give us the blessings that we can maintain whatever the vow we make on the New Year's Day. It is for us is a New Year's, Happy New Year to you all. And we should make, this is the New Year comes, is to give us a chance to reflect upon our life. that how our life is moving ahead. We are in charge of our life. The life doesn't move its own. It's by our own effort. And whatever we desire, if you are sincerely have those desires, we will make it accordingly plan to achieve those desires in the coming year. So my hope and pray that maybe you can get inspired with something that you can take up nicely. My advice always to the people that start at the small, don't take the huge vow that it's difficult to maintain throughout the year. Take small, but it should be consistent. Krishna likes the consistency, that once you take a vow, you should never miss a single day, no matter what it happened in our life. So before I speak, I would like to make some prayers, invoke little auspiciousness in my heart, so Krishna can help me to utter the wonderful words. Otherwise, I have no qualifications. Om Agyanate Mirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhestam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvisai Namaha. Nityanandam Aham Nomi Sarva Anand Karamparam Hari Nam Pradam Devam Avdhuta Shiromani. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namostute. Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswamiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyatya Desatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Siva Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much, the Austin Yatra, to give me the opportunity to have your kind association on this most wonderful day of Govardhan Puja. So the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna incarnated actually as Govardhan Hill. And how special the Govardhan Hill is to the devotees of Sri Krishna. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it tells us that how one devotee once came from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri with one small stone from Govardhan Hill. And that Govardhan Shila was given as a gift to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was so happy upon receiving it. He was receiving Krishna directly. Therefore, he wrapped that Govardhan Hill with string and he tied it to wear around his neck. And every day he would wear it constantly for a long, long time. And it is described that when he would feel the sentiment of aesthetic love for Krishna, overwhelmingly, he would pick up that sila from his chest and he would press it on his forehead and his two eyes. And it is described by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami that 24 hours a day, that Srila was constantly soaked with the tears of ecstatic symptoms of love coming from the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eyes. And Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave that Govardhan Sila as an intimate and confidential gift to his devotees, Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 principal Goswamis of Vrindavan. Govardhan Hill is the heart of everyone and all our acharyas in our Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. And along with it, he gave him very, very special instructions on how Giriraj should be worshipped each and every day with a certain amount of tulsi leaves, flowers, how to bath, and so on. And Raghunath Das Goswami, considering that Giriraj, his life and soul, worship it throughout his whole life. Even since I took the first one, I got it on May 31st, 1992, initiation. And the second initiation I got in 93. And I always worship Giriraj every single week. And my Guru Maharaj was so happy that you are worshiping Giriraj. So it was the life force of Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami, who was one of the most principal and important of all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He made his residence at the Radharan, which is the foot of the Govardhan Hill. And there he spent many, many long years. In fact, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita, he also took shelter of Raghunath Das Goswami to hear all the pastimes that he had with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to assist him to describe those wonderful Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we just passed the appearance of Radharan a couple of days ago. So it's a very auspicious month of Kartik. And it's so sublime to absorb by hearing those wonderful pastimes of Krishna. So today in Vrindavan, on this day, as we are sitting here, there are tens and thousands of people that have come from all around to circumambulate the Govardhan Hill with barefoot. Some of them do the Dandvat Parikrama. Some of them do 108 Dandvat Parikrama. They stand at one place, offer the obeisances, put one stone. Second time obedience, the same place, put the second stone, 108 times. Then and then they will move forward. So many Brajavasis are wonderfully doing it. So this most unique and wonderful incarnation to show his mercy upon all. And our own Guru Maharaj, his divine grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, when he was at the end of his life, it was like Srila Prabhupada left this world after 4 or 5 days after the Govardhan appearance. So it says that Prabhupada saw his intense desire to go and do the parikrama of Govardhan Hill. Matter of fact, he asked his associates that please take me. And all these disciples felt that how can we put you, Prabhupada? You cannot barely even turn your body in your bed. How can we take it to the parikrama of Govardhan Hill? But still he was insisting that that's my desire. It's a wonderful pastime. A lot of the associates who were close to Srila Prabhupada, they never want him to take him for the parikrama because they want his more association in their life. Some of the devotees felt that we should take Prabhupada, that is his desire. But anyway, goes on the discussion, and finally they intervene through that Srila Prabhupada, dear God brother, and resolve that Prabhupada, you should not visit. And Prabhupada says very nicely, how can I do something which my dear disciple doesn't want me to do? So we can see that how surrendered souls are Srila Prabhupada. So we can learn from that also that how sincere we should be to serve our Guru Maharaj. So what makes it such an important event that we are here today to celebrate? The story is given by Srila Sukdev Goswami in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There it described that Govardhan Puja has many very, very deep meanings. It's very hard to touch in our contaminated conditioned stage of our life. So when Krishna performs a pastime, he has so many lessons for everyone. Krishna is so kind. He accomplished so many things by performing one wonderful pastimes. So we will see that in Govardhan Hill Lila, how he accomplished so many unlimited and wonderful, wonderful pastime with his dear devotees. So it is described that after Krishna shows his mercy to the wives of the Brahmana who were performing the sacrifice, and we saw that the Krishna and Balram was wandering in the Vrindavan forest, they became so hungry. So they sent some gopas, go and please, the Brahmana is doing the wonderful sacrificial arena. You go and ask that Balram and Krishna is hungry, please give. But the Brahmanas, they were so much attached to the rituals that they neglected the need of the Lord. So they cry out and they came back to Krishna, that Krishna, they don't want to give us. So then Krishna tell them that go and approach their wives and see what result you will get. So when they approached the wife of the Brahmanas, the wife even left that ceremony and they bring tons of food for the satisfaction of Lord Sri Krishna and Balaram. So that should be our mood, that we should be able to show whenever the Krishna need any services, we should be ready to perform without any considerations of our own arrangement. So we have to also, anything we would like to do, we have to understand what we are trying to do. And also we have to practice in our own life before we can preach to somebody. So how many people today perform their puja simply to carry on their family traditions? If you see it, so many people just doing for sake of doing it, because we have seen from our tradition, family life, that we must offer the ghee lamp, we should do this. But have we understood the deep meaning why we do such things? Because unless and we know that to get the benefit of that services is very limited. So same thing happened, that they were just some kind of a superstitious feelings that they carry, and they perform some rituals without knowing the benefits. So they are afraid that something may happen, if they do not do it. That is the main cause. I think the fear brings them to do something. And then because Nand Maharaj was also, performing this, were preparing to perform these rituals to please Lord Indra, that we will see in these pastimes. That Krishna is asking Nand Maharaj that why you are performing the worship for Nand Maharaj, for whom? And what is the purpose? What you will gain by worshipping him? And then he says that because Nand Maharaj was quite quiet, he didn't say anything. Then Krishna explained that, do you know that if people perform this yagna with ignorance, without understanding these things, then you will get no good results. And if you perform it with knowledge, then you will get the full result. So I want to know, what is this? What you are doing? Explain me. And you should tell me, because I'm your intimate family member. Because, Krishna wants to make sure that he answers his questions. So many times we ask some question to the members, but sometimes they don't come forward. So this is, Krishna is using the trick to his father, that I'm your family member, please reveal to me. And amongst those who are highly qualified in religious life, they have no secret from their friends and family members. In fact, such persons should have no secret from anyone. Their life should be like an open book. Hare Krishna is instructing another great lesson, that we should practice what we preach. We should not have two lives. We should not have a private life and a public life. What we say, we should establish by our actions. Acharya means one who teaches the truth according to the scripture and one who lives according to the truth. That's the essence of our devotional life. So Nand Maharaj is giving his explanation that he began to speak. So he said, my dear Krishna, we are performing the Indra Yagna because you see, we are a cowherd community. We grow grains, we take care of the cows. We are completely dependent on those natures. We need the rain to have those flourish. If it doesn't rain, then we will have no success in our life. And Indra is a Devata. What's wrong with it? The demigod who bestows all these benedictions upon the humanity. So this yagna is meant to please Indra in reality, so that he will provide plentiful rain. And then we will have a little life, nice life in prosperity, and the cow will be very, very happy. So that's the explanation Nand Maharaj is giving to Krishna. When Krishna heard this, he was looking at Nand Maharaj like, is that the reason? This is the real reason? I think as far as I'm concerned, Krishna is telling Nand Baba that Indra really doesn't have anything to do with it. Because according to the laws of karma, if you act good, you will get the good result. And if you act bad, you will get the bad result. And Indra is simply a deliverer of your karma. So if you are performing good works, Indra has to give you the good rains. And if you are sinful, then Indra has to hold it back. It is something like the government, that you have the telephone, that you have electricity, you have the water, and we dearly pay the bills. If you don't pay the bills, then they will cut off the utility. So Krishna is explaining in a simple way, just to do the good work. Why do you have to waste all this time trying to satisfy Indra? It's like flattering. You are a pious man, he has to give you rain. And then he explained the karma mimamsa theory. Surrender to me, Krishna says ultimately. Krishna wanted to establish to his devotee that it is an offense to him, to Krishna, in his presence, to worship the demigod. So this is the lesson Govardhan appearance is teaching us. That here he was personally living in Vrindavan, and the supreme God of all gods, Parameshwar, and they are worshipping Indra for rains. Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.41, that's all one's obligations to one's forefathers, to the government, to the demigod, to one teachers. We have obligations to all of them. They are all automatically fulfilled when we just do one thing right, surrender to Krishna. Because he's the source of everything. When you water the root of the tree, automatically every part of the limbs of the tree get flourished. So Krishna wanted to show that if you are not my devotee, then it is your duty to worship the demigod. But because you are giving you so many benefits and gifts, and you are ungracious if you do not do it. But if you are my devotee, then all that is taken care of. So being a devotee, that's become our highly responsible act, to live our life in such a way that our life should explain. Whoever see our lifetime, they should see it, that this person has the devotion for Krishna, and he is exhibiting that, his life according to the Shastra. In 1866, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the same instructions to all of us. Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam saranam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshakshami masucha. Abandon all kind of religious and just surrender to me. So it's a very simple process for us. Krishna's mercies is in curbing pride. Also, Krishna doesn't like pride in us. And all of us, we came in this material world just for one reason, because we have the pride that I can enjoy without the Krishna's associations. And Krishna has to create actually this material world just to satisfy our desire. So because Krishna knew that Indra was very proud, so when Krishna appeared on earth, not everyone understood that he was God. Ye yathamam prapandyante tams tathami brajamyaham in Bhagavad Gita 4:11. Only those who had hearts full of love and devotion understood that he was God. Not all of them understood. Others considered that he was just like a very powerful mystic. He is a human being, and some thought maybe as a demigod. But they didn't understand that Krishna was God. And even amongst the demigods in heavens, many of them did not understand that this Krishna, who appeared 5,000 years ago, was the original avatari, from whom other avatar appeared. So Krishna knew that Indra is very proud. Why? Because he was in such a position of control in this world. It is very, very difficult to have a high position, wealth, beautiful looks, power, or authority over others and not become condemned by the false pride. So this is another lesson we should learn. When the Rasa dance was going on and all the gopis felt at some point in their time, oh, I'm so lucky that Krishna is dancing with me alone. And Krishna left the Rasa dance. Krishna will never accept any pride in us. That's why, as a devotee, we should wear the Tronodapi Sunichana Tarorapi Sahistuna Amadina Manadina Kirtanadina Sadahari. If he really wants to chant constantly the holy name of the Lord, we have to imbibe those wonderful qualities: tolerance, patience, humility, sacrifice, austerity, truthfulness. All these qualities must invoke in our life. So Krishna knew that I have to help Indra in that way because Indra was his devotee. Now, if you are not a devotee, then Krishna a lot of the time doesn't intervene on our life. And we have seen it. Sometimes people always ask us the questions that, I was living very happy life, but then I met the Hare Krishna devotee and I start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then after 6-7 months, all the problems start coming. When I was not doing that devotional practice, I was living happily because we cannot understand the laws of karma. So that's our difficulty because we are in an ignorant positions like that. So we can miscalculate. So I always tell the newcomer that please have a patience. Don't feel Krishna always assists us. He will assist you very nicely. Have a faith in him. So it is, pride is something that, see, like my Guru Maharaj used to give an example about this when people says that why the good people are suffering and who is performing very bad activity, they are enjoying this life. And my Guru Maharaj used to give a simple example that if there is a layman and he's walking around your house, he's totally limpy, okay? But just when the window comes where you have the sight of that person, he just take one step very nicely. So you see, oh, this person is walking very nicely, but he's not walking nicely. They are all suffering so much. So Krishna is trying to teach Indra that lesson that if he really wants to be his devotee, and because Indra was his devotee, then Krishna impelled to teach him. So when we become devotees, Krishna has to take us back to him. The way that we wants to go at the speed we wants to reach Krishna, he wants to take it faster than what he wants to do. So Krishna has to make certain changes in our life so we can accelerate our path to reach our goal of our life. That's all it is. Suffering comes, it's for ultimate good, not for that Krishna is bad with you or Krishna is punishing you because you have started performing the devotional service. So Krishna is asking that, well, where are you getting all your gifts from? From Govardhan Hill, from the cows and from the Brahmanas. Govardhan Hill is supplying grass. The cows that eat the grass, and grass is so wonderful, it's fragrant. When the cow eat that grass, they give the fragrance milk. All the wonderful pastime is happening, so many living entities. Krishna and Balaram always walked on the Govardhan Hill. What a blessings. So the Vedic knowledge tells us that you should take all of these beautiful article of this paraphernalia for worship and worship the Brahmanas, cows, and the Govardhan Hill. So because Nand Maharaj and all the elder cowherd men, they love Krishna so much that they had to do whatever Krishna wanted them to do. They knew that Krishna was simply joking, preaching these very, very bogus philosophies for the less intelligent people. But they didn't care what the philosophy was. They just wanted to please Krishna. So this is the mood we should also imbibe from the Brajvasis, that even the Brajvasis blame the creator, Lord Brahma, that why he has created the eyelid, that we cannot have a constant vision of the divine couple. Their mood is so intense. So by reading those things, may it imbibe those things that let me proceed in that path, some steps in my life. So Krishna is teaching us how to do that through this Mahotsav of Govardhan Lila, cook mountain of prasad. I hope that host and devotee must have make thousands of preparations for the pleasure of the Govardhan Hill. Make payasam, make puris, make halwa, rasgullas, gulab jamuns, laddus, chapatis, rice, and so many chapatis, dals, and everything. And all the stock of your milk and all the grains, make wonderful big offering for the pleasure of the Brahmana cows and the Govardhan Hill. And then after that, let everyone in Vrindavan decorate themselves with the nicest jewelry, with nicest cloth. And then let us take the bullock cart with all the cows in front of us and let us circumambulate the Govardhan Hill. Today is auspicious day to perform the Govardhan Parikrama. Krishna is non-different than Giriraj. So they performed this wonderful ceremony, and how wonderful as they were circumambulating the Govardhan Hill mountains and mountains of Bhoga, wonderful footstep that they were all chanting the glories of Krishna and Balaram. And after the ceremony was over, everyone was so happy, so joyful. So Krishna said to them, now with this prasad, make sure afterward that we must offer it very humbly to Govardhan. So as they were offering right before their eyes, the Govardhan Hill assumed a personal form. And this personal form grew so big that it was not different than Krishna himself that assumed this form within the hill. And then Govardhan Hill began to speak that I'm Govardhan, I'm the Supreme. I have come to accept all of your love and offering. When we do any seva to Krishna, do you think that he really likes to enjoy the food that we cook? I don't think so. What he accepts? He accepts the intense, your desire, how you want to please Krishna. That's all he accepts. So we have to be very careful when we perform cooking for Lord Sri Krishna and offer our food to the deities. It should be very nice. And if we wants to know more about the how we should prepare the food for the Lord, read in Chaitanya Charitamrita the example of Vasudev Dutt Prabhu. That how careful he was, that picking up the fresh fruit, everything fresh, Nothing should touch that food. Even somebody sees it, he never use it to offer to Krishna. We are far from that distance, so let's continue. So Krishna says that now, personally, I have come to you all to accept your offering. And then right before their eyes, the Govardhan Hill with great pleasure at all of the offerings wonderfully. So never feel, even though your prasad may remain look same, but Krishna has accepted your offering. He has acknowledged your love and devotion. Any service we do to the Krishna never goes in vain. Remember that. So he was at the same time 7-year-old boy, cowherd boy, along with the many Brajvasis. And in order to teach all the Brajvasis and in order to teach all of us for all life to come, the importance of this great avatar, Krishna himself bowed down and offered his obeisances to Giriraj. So we should learn. Krishna is teaching us personally. And all of the Brajvasis followed and did the same. And then Giriraj partook all the offering before everyone's eyes. Again, he gave it all back to the devotees, Brajvasis. And Krishna then explained, now we must distribute to the Brahmanas, and then when we must distribute to all other classes of men. We must specially symptomatically feed those who are very poor, and we must symptomatically feed the dogs, cats, cows, everyone. Everyone enjoy the wonderful Mahaprasad of Sri Giriraj. So everyone was happy, very happy, except one person. Who was that person? Indra. And what Indra was thinking? Where is my puja? He was told that Krishna took all your puja and offered it to all to Govardhan Hill. So to Govardhan Hill, that was meant for me. This is Indra, demigod, king of the heaven. For generation and generations and generations, all the forefathers of Nanda Maharaj have been offering me this sacrifice. I am the supplier of the rain. Who does he think he is? These Brajvasis, rather than accepting my supreme authority, they are accepting the authority of this cowherd small boy, 7-year-old boy, very ignorant, foolish, little talkative cowherd boy. They will be punished. So he called the Samvartaka clouds, and they were not ordinary clouds like today we see the rain. They are the clouds that pour torrents and torrents of rain to flood the entire earth. At the time of the dissolutions of the day of Brahma. And these Samvartaka clouds, when they came, they were very frightened. They did not know who is this Krishna. But on Krishna's ordering, he told them that you go to the Vrindavan and you are torrents of rain and you destroyed all the cows, all the cowherd men, all the cowherd women. You destroyed entire community because they have offended me, Indra. What a great offense he has made. So they neglected their vow to me. And I will be behind you with my thunderbolts on my elephant carrier, Airavan. So in Vrindavan, all at the one, this black deep cloud started forming in the sky. And there was so much thunder and so much lightning and torrents of rain, like the columns. The rain was falling like a column, pillars. It was like the entire ocean just falling on the land of Brajadham. And the winds were blowing, and the cows and the gopis and the gopas, they were all running around so much in distress. What to do, what to do? Everything was being destroyed. They were soaking wet. They were freezing. Thunderbolts were coming in all the directions everywhere. They turned to Govinda, finally to Krishna. Because after all, they were thinking he was just an ordinary little boy. But when things become very, very difficult, they remember that Garg Muni had said in the past that any danger that you ever in, Govinda will save you. So they remember. So they all approach Krishna, little boy, and kindly protect us. Indra has become very angry. Look at this all around, everything in Brajabhumi is destroying. So Krishna smiled. And then he began to think in his own heart that my devotees, this is all my fault. I have angered Indra because he is so proud. His pride must be smashed today. And because he is very rich man and he has so much authority and power over others, he has become intoxicated. And I cannot tolerate pride in the heart of my devotees. So today I will smash his pride, although he is insignificant little jiva, like an insect. His pride has become like a Himalaya mountain. But today it will be finished. So then he left his home. And it's so wonderful to know that Krishna, when he left the Govardhan hill on the pinky finger for 7 days and 7 nights. And as we see that Govardhan hill is what, 22 kilometers in the parikrama. How he can protect Brajabhumi, Vrindavan Dham, is 84 kilometers long, 84 kos Brajadham. How is it possible that he was able to protect all of them by lifting the Govardhan hill, which is only 22 kilometers in parikrama? But Krishna is unlimited. He can do, which is nothing is impossible for him. In Vrindavan Dham, it explained that it's like a lotus flower. Every pastime that may be happening thousands of miles away, Krishna can reach in a second because it's all created by the petals. By the desire of Krishna, the petals come very close. When Krishna desired, petals get open up and get far away. So the Govardhan hill expanded to give the protection to each and every living being in Brajadham. He never neglected. So this is another lesson we should learn, that when the time comes, when he wants to protect the devotee, other general mass of people also get the benefit. So if we become strong devotees and if we get the mercy of Krishna, even though somebody has not performed the devotional purpose, they will also indirectly get a lot of benefit through this pastime. We can understand that. So Krishna left his home and it ran so fast where the Govardhan hill was. And it is described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that at that time, when he ran out, how did he get there without even getting wet? It described that Yog Maya potency cleared the skies beyond the Indra's control, why Krishna went from his house to the Govardhan hill. So this is also, we can know that Krishna is very, very difficult to understand. His potency works so efficiently that we cannot even have the ability to understand how he does his wonderful pastime. It's our misfortune, but as we render our devotional service, as our senses will become purified, we will be able to understand Krishna at much, much greater degree. And our life will become so successful because we will surrender more and more to his lotus feet. So he came as a Giridhari and with his laced hand, effortlessly like a child, lifted the mushroom. He lifted the Govardhan hill and he held it with the little finger on his left hand, upraised, and he called out to all the residents of Vrindavan, come, please come. This is the very warm and dry place. You have nothing to fear. Come under Govardhan hill and be happy. So they all came, all the hundreds and thousands of cows. Nand Maharaj used to have 900,000 cows, everything get fitted. Every living being went underneath the shelter of the Govardhan hill. What a beautiful pastime. And Krishna has his charming smile constantly for 7 days. It's a glorious event where every living being got close associations of Krishna constantly for 7 days and 7 nights. As we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, Gopas feel very lucky because they can play with Krishna during the daytime herding the cows. But gopis, really lament during the daytime because they cannot see Krishna. But when the night comes, then the Gopa feel very sad. But the gopis enjoy their association throughout the night in the wonderful 12 forest of Vrindavan. But this pastime bring all of them together that they can enjoy every single moment for 7 days and 7 nights. What a wonderful benedictions Krishna give. He accomplished so many things in this pastime, as our Acharya has described. It depends on our purity to grasp all those points in our heart. So we pray that may Krishna help us to understand his pastime at fullest. So in this way, 7 days went by, an aesthetic festival of love for all of them. And when Indra saw that all of his power, all of his strength, and he could not even get a drop of water on any of the Brajvasis, he realized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he told Samvartaka cloud that you please stop because we won't be able to harm anybody. Go away now. And the rain stopped and the sun came out. And at that time, Lord Krishna, knowing the heart of the Indra as a Paramatma in all living beings' heart, he told the Brajvasis that now it is safe. Now you can go away, go back to your residence. There is no harm for you. So it requires some dedication in our life. This devotional practice is so wonderful. In the beginning, everything is difficult. In the material world also. When they want to send the rocket in the sky to just become free from the gravity, they have to use a humongous tank, fuel tank. But when we goes above the gravitational force, they don't need that much fuel. It's automatically done. So in the beginning life of our devotional life, we have to be so fixed. If you are not vigilant in your devotional practice in the beginning, the process will always look harder and harder and harder. And Prabhupada says sometimes that if my disciple are not serious, one day they may think as a burden that why Prabhupada put all the deity that we have to work so hard. We will feel devotional service as a burden. It is actually enlightening, giving us the freedom from the bondage of the birth and death. So my humble request to all of you, in the initial, I'm most fallen than you are. So that's why I have understood this principle. So I'm very serious about my sadhana, that if we can not remain fixed, no matter what it happened, do we miss any meal? No, we will eat the meal. We do everything in the material life, even though despite difficulty come, we never stop. Come to devotion, we easily give up. So this is the another lesson that we should learn from it. So Indra realized his mistake, and then Indra is asking the forgiveness from Krishna, the king of the heaven, knowing the offense that he has committed at the lotus feet of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the well-wisher and the best friend that we can ever find in our life. So he is approaching the lotus feet of Sri Gopal, and he explained to Krishna that you are so kind, Krishna. You are so merciful. Even somebody doesn't believe in you, you still provide that necessity for that existence of the life. You never neglect it. In the material world, if somebody offend the boss, you see the reaction of a boss. Boss will take so many corrective measures. They will write you up for a couple of times, and then time comes, then they may say, okay, this is the final notice. You will be gone. They can fire you. So many things. But Krishna doesn't do that. In the battle of Kurukshetra, he spoke Bhagavad Gita so nicely to Arjuna. He explained everything. We are in ignorance, so we are not able to follow. So first, our duty is to become knowledgeable. And how we can become knowledgeable? In the Guru Parampara system. That's the descending process. Never ever try to ascend yourself. Never ever feel that even you will be able to understand Krishna by reading the scripture on its own by your own intellectual ability. It's impossible. It says in Padma Purana, Atahasya Krishna Namadi na bhaved indra garyam shrevan mukhehi jivadu shwayam eta spurti yadaha. Krishna will come when we purify the senses. And by rendering the devotional service, the side effect, the effect of the devotion you will get, that's unlimited. But the side effect even of rendering devotional service, that it will purify your senses more and more. So every time we do some service to the Radha and Krishna or to his pure devotees, our senses will become purified. And ultimately we will be in a better and better positions to accept those instructions. Otherwise, at some stage, we may not even accept the instructions of Krishna, no matter what he has to say. So here Indra is realizing these things, and he said, how, and because of my position, he accept, and he is telling Krishna as the ruler of the demigod, because all living beings on this entire earth depend on me for the rain, because of my wonderful palace, because of my beautiful wife and wonderful luxuries that I have been given due to my post, the king of the heaven. I have become proud. And in my pride, my spiritual advancement has been blocked. And I have been so intoxicated by these conditions that I didn't even know it. This is another lesson we should learn. The pride may be there in our life. It can be seen only by the more advanced devotee than us. So we do sincerely seek their associations so they can properly guide. But you are by your grace, mercy, that your great kindness, that you never forgot your devotee. And you have curbed my pride. You have again remind me that I'm only the insignificant servant aspiring to be the dust at your lotus feet. And thank you very much, Krishna. This is the India. And then Indra is performing the Abhishek ceremony for Krishna. So this was the Govardhan Puja celebrated in remembering the great kindness of Lord, the kindness of the Lord upon the Brajvasis, to remind them that the topmost jewel of all existence was always right among them. Why should they worship someone else? So we should bear that topic in our mind, that he, Krishna, knows our past, he knows our present, and he knows our future. So I was giving an example, and I'm just going to share with you all the wonderful devotees from the Austin Yatra. When you do the devotion, after some time something bad happens in your life, that may happen because of our karma. Just think that Draupadi, when Krishna cut his finger, he's just torn the very expensive sari without any hesitations. And how much cloth it take to bind his finger? Maybe less than 4 or 5 inches and 1 inch white cloth. Did Krishna reciprocate with her right away? No. Why? Because Krishna knows that there is, because he knows the future of Draupadi, that right now if I give him even the 10 million yards of sari, that is no use of her. But time will come where she will need it. And at that time, I keep my promise. So what happened when Durshasan wants to disrupt in the presence of all the assembly? First, Draupadi didn't think about Krishna. So he looked at the Bhismadev. Bhismadev, help me. I can only have the shelter of you. You can only protect me. Bhismadev looked down. Then he approached Dronacharya one by one. So there is a nice story that actually after this incident, Draupadi told Krishna that Krishna, really, please come in the room. I want to talk to you privately. Krishna said, what do you want to talk? Talk. He said, no, please come. So Krishna is so kind, he accepts everything. Devotee, when they ask with love and affection, Krishna fulfilled those desires. So Draupadi sit down beside Krishna, holding the Krishna's hand, and Draupadi says, Krishna, how come you never come to help me? So Krishna is looking at the face of the Draupadi, and he said, Draupadi, did you ever call me? And what happened when you called me? Did I appear? Draupadi was silent. So, my dear devotees, if we do something for service to Krishna, don't think that Krishna has forgotten that service. It is registered in his eternal diary. He will never forget any little service. Prabhupada, one time in the New York, the 22nd Avenue, he was holding the Bhagavatam class, and one beggar, he just run down in the temple room and he just strictly goes straight to the bathroom to use. But what he did good, he rendered some devotional service. He left one tissue roll in the bathroom. And Prabhupada says that he rendered some service. So any single service that you will perform, make sure that you will get the result when you really need that result, not otherwise. Have that faith. That's my humble request on this auspicious day, to imbibe that instruction in the inner core of your heart, that whatever I'm doing in my practical life will become zero, useless. It has no real value. Everything that we see around us is temporary. Nothing will come beside us. Even just to give you a practical example, if you are a rich man, you must have millions of friends who wants to come and do the party with you. But my dear brother, you remember one simple thing. If you will declare your bankruptcy, send them an invitation and see how many will stand by. None, practically. As soon as they will hear that Satyaswar Prabhu is in trouble, that is it. And those things go so fast in the world. That's amazing thing. The good things, it takes so long time to spread it. But the bad things go so super fast, like a bullet train. So we have to remember who is our real friend is. This life is very short, as our Acharya has mentioned. So don't take too much time to become serious in the devotional life, because we don't know. As Govinda Das says, that our life is like a drop of water on the lotus leaf. Little wind can destroy our plant and the water can fall. So our life is like that. That's why it's so amazing in Mahabharata that verse is given, Hani, Hani, Bhutani, Gachanti Ma Yamalam, Sesa Stavram Ichanti, Kim Asyarya Atavaram. What is the amazing thing in this world? That we have seen our forefathers, some of us may have seen their parents, relatives, friends, living this world. Sesa Stavram Ichanti. Sesa means, you have the 14 and you divide 14 divided by 4. So 4 times 3 is 12 and remainder is 2. So those two who has not yet died, they feel, I'm never gonna die. That's the greatest illusions that we carry in our life. Our life is very fragile. We have no control over it. And unless and until we will do something good, this spiritual progress, Bhagavad Gita, Neha Abhikrano Nastosi, Pratyavayona Vidyate, Swalpa Abhi Asya Dharmasya, Trayato Mahatabhaya. Even little advancement in the spiritual life will protect you from the greatest danger, which is death. So, my dear devotees, I hope that I have not hurt anybody's feeling. If I have used any wrong words, it's because of my personality, so please forgive me. And if something that may have touched in the discussion, then please dwell every night. Then what can you do? Take one notebook and write some thoughts at least. I always recommend that person who get initiated on the first day, they should do it. Is what are the feeling was churning in your heart when you surrender to your Guru Maharaj? It's a unique experience because it will never come again. That day has gone. You spend millions of dollars, but you will never be able to buy back even 5 seconds. So imbibe those. Keep it one separate nice book, and you should review it constantly. Whenever you hear any Maharaj, you hear any class, or any experience in our daily life, Krishna gives so many examples and practical things to experience in this world. Write those notes, and once in a while glance it over. It will really enhance your life. That's what I do practice. And if anybody has any questions, comment, corrections, feel free. We have only 5 minutes left, but I thought that I should give all the points so we can really become serious. And whatever I speak is just for my benefit, because I know that I'm the most fallen of all. And it has helped me to keep that mood. So thank you very much again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Would you like to take one or two questions, Prabhu? Notice if you have any questions for Prabhu, please feel free to unmute and ask. Amrita Mataji, you have a question?
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and you. So, Prabhu, I have a question like, why did Lord Sri Krishna, as you mentioned, he knows everything from like about us and his devotees, previous karmas, and even next next milestones in life. So I have a question like, what was the intention of Lord behind coming up with this pastime of Govardhan? So what was his main motive that he would reveal through this pastime?
Well, we discussed that there are so many lessons that we can learn, that where we should surrender. He made that point very nice. Not to the demigods or anybody, but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He teaches exactly how to show him by cooking the offering and satisfied him.
Mm-hmm.
He also has shown his willingness that when any trouble comes, I'll be there to protect you. Do not worry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he tell the Nanda Baba that please stop the service of Indra, and Krishna knows that there will be, Indra will become mad and there will be so many difficulties. So we should also learn from these lessons that we should become fearless. That now I have to give up like I used to have a lot of the Saraswati Devis, I have the Lakshmi Devis, everything that I have some picture or some kind of thing was there. And when I come to the knowledge of Krishna, then ultimately all of them are working under the direction of Krishna. They cannot give you any boon without getting the blessings of Krishna. And that's why Lord Shiva, being the topmost Vaishnavas, he telling his wife Parvati, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, to always constantly worship Lord Govinda.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other need to worship anybody. So he is exemplified by this pastime that yes, we should have the conviction, we should not become fearless, that because my father used to worship Lord Shiva or Durga Devi or whoever worshipping, I must continue, otherwise I will have the great reaction. There is no reaction. He will protect you from that. That is another lesson that we learn from this. Also that wonderful things that as you show your willingness to surrender Krishna, knowing, because he's sitting as a super soul in our heart. He knows what are the obstacles in your life. So if you're sincere, he will intervene. If you're not sincere, he will never intervene, because what interest he has, he's complete in everything. He's enjoying everything. He doesn't need our Shiva. Nothing else. He can be transcendental. So, but he does that just because to give us the opportunity. And by this example, we can see that, that by serving Krishna, then everything else becomes sublime. One thing I can say in my life, what I have walked through, that if you keep one faith in Krishna, he will never let you down.
Mhm.
Since in my life, I can cite many, many practical examples of my life. It will take hours and hours to explain each incident I went through, including the brain hemorrhage I had in 2009. I didn't get paralyzed. Every lung of my body is perfectly functioning 100%. I never went to the hospital. I didn't take any care. I just rest in my bed and listen nice kirtan and katha Krishna. And I was pure, completely 100%.
Wow.
So the example is there. So when we do it, my Guru Maharaj used to say that when you take the association of a senior devotees, what is that association? Association, not just that you spend the time with the senior devotee and you feel, oh, I'm getting association. No. Try to understand what he's doing, why he's doing, and then try to implement those things in your life. Because my Guru Maharaj told me, very wonderful sentence, and I think it will enlighten all the devotee community, that the real association is that you experience the same thing as the senior devotee has experienced in their life. So what does it mean? Sannyasi has given so many things in their life. They become detached. Now we cannot go at full extent at one point to give up everything like what they have done. And we see the living example, so many sannyasis in our yatra. At least follow in the footsteps, start giving up something. Every year you make a commitment that I want to surrender. And one realization I can share you, that you will never regret what you have done for Krishna. Because as you do more and more, he will allow you, provide you everything that what you need. Like Krishna gave the promise in Bhagavad Gita, what he says, I will maintain what you have. He's not going to take anything from us. He doesn't need it. But the things that you are missing in your life, that is not making you happy, that thing I will give you. And you tell me, man, who is not suffering in this world? Who can claim that he is the happy person in this world? Tell me. Every one of us is suffering, but he can remove the suffering.
Mhm.
So by this example, it proves us that, when we do this and look at the Brajbasis, they have so much conviction and faith. It was not easy on all the Brajbasis they knows it. The rain is given by Indra. And if you are not going to worship him, they knows the consequences. But still, they have the little higher faith in Krishna and they proceed. And once, because now they did themselves, their faith increasing millions of times. Now again, those calamity will come in their life. They will only think about Krishna because they know that Krishna will come and help us. And Krishna has promises. But Krishna has to say, Ye yathamam prapadyantes. Don't think that, my Guru Maharaj always used to say, when you put some donation in your hundi box, what does really Krishna watch? Ma'am, can you answer? When you put your money into the donation box, what Krishna sees?
Krishna sees our love and devotion. I mean, he just see our bhav.
Well, But the higher understanding is Krishna sees at the same time how much you are keeping for yourself, how much you are giving. That's what Krishna look for it. Krishna doesn't look that, there one person can come and he can put $1 million, but if he's $1 trillion man, Krishna understands. But the poor man, he doesn't have any money, but still, like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there was one Brahmana who was selling just from the leaf. He was making the plates and the ball, and he will sell it at reasonable price. And whatever profit he used to make, even less, he was still giving 50% to the Lord.
Mhm.
So Krishna sees what we keep for ourselves. It's not that how much we give, it sees according to our capacity. If you have a capacity, so another lesson we can learn from this, we will be never able to cheat Krishna. We have to keep our book open. There is nothing secret in front of Krishna. We may be hiding. We may not tell anybody what nonsense we have done in our life. But in presence of Krishna, it automatically reveals to us. Like, just give you the example. Suppose you have murdered somebody, okay? And you don't want to accept because you don't want to live your whole life behind the jar. And also you have been blessed by having enough money that you can fight in the court. So you will try your best to prove that you are not guilty. So when you go to the court and judge will say, okay, raise your right hand and say, you will say nothing but the truth. You will take even the vow that yes, I'll say everything is truth. And then he said, judge will ask you, did you kill that person? We don't want to remember anything about that incident. We don't want to remember, but you will see that the person, how you kill that person, that vision, the whole scene will come in front of her, you, your eyes. Krishna remind you what you have done. Maybe verbally you may not accept it. So I think that that help, ma'am. I don't want to go over my limit. It's already, I have taken 7 minutes of everybody's important time. So forgive me for that, but let's stop here with the wonderful prayer to Radha and Krishna, that on this auspicious day, please glance your sweet mercy upon all of us. So we remain steadfast. We learn the lesson as the Brajvasis learn, and give us the strength. First, give us at least the vision that we understand that where we need to put our effort. What should be the priority in our life? Please enlighten on this. And when you enlighten us about this, please be kind and merciful to give us the strength to carry over. Because on our own strength, we won't be able to do anything. So let's do this simple prayer today. And possibly you can continue doing this prayer every single night when you go to the bed. And early morning when you wake up, when you do your brush, my always formula is, when you look at your face, tell yourself, this is the last time I'm seeing the face in the mirror. This is my last day on this planet. And you see your life will get changed. How you behave with every living being who has the influence on the morning thoughts. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Akshaya.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Hare Krishna Temple, I would like to thank our speaker for that wonderful class. We're truly blessed to have that opportunity to hear you speak tonight, Prabhuji. So thank you. This concludes the online program, so please join us at the temple for Aarti and bhajans and much more. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shamsundar Prabhu. Thank you so much for your.
Thank you very much for your wonderful association.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. I'm looking forward to hearing from you more, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please come to temple. Hare Krishna.